Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 509 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. I'm happy you're here. It feels really good to be a part of something, doesn't it? I mean, we get to be together for a few minutes a couple times a week, and I love that. But there's nothing like person-to-person connection. I mean, no technology could take the place of human in-person connection. Even if you don't think you're a people person, connecting is really important. We threw a party at our house recently. We saw people we hadn't seen for a while, and one of our friends came that we hadn't seen in years. He went through a rough patch, and we're not sure if he was isolating or what, but he was here this time, and we were glad, and everyone was really happy to see him. It was such a fun night. When he got back home, he sent my husband Eric a text and he said, you don't realize how much you miss your friends until you spend time with them again. I loved that he said that because he's so right. Sometimes when we go through rough times, we may isolate for any number of reasons, maybe to protect ourselves, maybe to heal. But a lot of times we make things up in our heads about what people are saying or thinking about our situation, when in reality, we all go through things. And more often than not, people just want to live and let live. They want to love and be loved. They want to feel a part of something. And isolation is the opposite of that. Now, I think we need to upend that trend. Friends are just too important to our overall happiness. And sometimes we forget that because we get busy and life happens. But we're meant to enjoy life. It's not just about work, sleep, repeat. We're meant to be social. I mean, is it possible maybe we've just gotten out of the habit? I mean, have we forgotten how to be social? Have we forgotten how to cultivate strong relationships? We may just be out of practice. I mean, it's kind of an easy fix if you think about it. We just have to remember how we made and kept friends as kids. We actually reached out. We begged our parents to be able to have friends spend the night or for us to go over to their house. We made actual plans to meet up and hang out. We weren't passive about getting together. We made it happen like it was our job. You remember that? Friendships were so important, and they still are. They're important as adults too. And bonus, we don't have to get permission from our parents. I've talked about it before that in order to have a friend, you have to be a friend, which means we have to make time for each other. We have to reach out. When you meet someone you really like, you don't hesitate to make a lunch date, and not a let's get together sometime date. Make an actual plan. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. I've been so guilty of this, of seeing someone in passing and saying, let's get together sometime, and just keep walking, knowing that we both know that's not going to happen because we didn't actually make a plan. So it has to be an actual invite, not a we should get together sometime. Eric and I laugh a little bit when people say that to us because we all know it's never going to happen from that statement of let's get together. If there's someone you would like to spend more time with, you have to actually make a little effort to make it happen. You may have to even get a little bit out of your comfort zone. We've had people tell us several times before, you guys should come on out to our lake house sometime. And I'm just like, well, we're not going to just show up. And so I've started saying that. I'm like, well, we'd love to, but we're not going to show up out of the blue. So if you're serious, give us a few dates and we'll make it happen. Otherwise, we all know that it's not going to happen. So yeah, I think we've just kind of gotten out of the habit of making and cultivating strong friendships. And we need those friendships. The loneliness epidemic affects over half the population. And it's not just bad for your mental health. According to some studies, it's really bad for your physical health too. One study showed that they compared loneliness to being as bad for you as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That sounds crazy, but it really actually feels true to me. I mean, loneliness is so bad for us. There's a lot of reasons people give for why people are less and less connected. I mean, there's so many technology, it makes so many things that make it easy for us to just stay at home, and people are working from home now, and they're thinking they're connecting when they're on social media. And then COVID and all of that made people kind of weird about having people in their homes or leaving their home or going to the grocery store. So there's a lot of reasons, but staying home and getting your groceries delivered and never wanting to leaving the house, that does sound tempting to people. But because it's so easy to stay home, it becomes a habit. And then you gradually start feeling disconnected, thinking, oh, you're connecting with people online, but it's really not connection. It's kind of a vicious cycle that only you can fix. I mean, the longer you wait to get back out there and be social, the harder it's going to be. My thought is for each one of you listening, and you may already do this, you may already be fine, you may already be throwing dinner parties left and right and have lunch dates all the time, but my thought is to invite people for a dinner party. Let's make dinner parties great again. I read this last week that dinner parties used to be such a big thing, and now they aren't for all the reasons that I mentioned above. There's a lot of reasons why people don't do that anymore. And you know what? There's nothing I love more than a gorgeous dinner party in a beautiful setting with close friends and maybe even new friends too. I love having new friends over. Eric and I do a lot of dinner parties. We love having them. It doesn't have to be super fancy, even though I like for them to be. Yeah, I like for them to feel fancy, but a lot of times it's just grilled chicken and salad. But usually everybody will bring something, maybe an appetizer, and we'll have a fire on the deck, and I set the lighting just beautifully, and we spend time just talking and laughing and catching up. No stress. And I know right now that for some of you, your brain is throwing out all kinds of reasons not to have a dinner party. I know it is. Maybe it's saying your home's not good enough. I hear people say this all the time that, well, we're going to have a dinner party when we have our house the way we want it, when it's perfect. But come on, when is that going to be? I mean, we've totally renovated our whole house, and there are still things that I promise Eric, my husband, would like to fix. I'm actually really happy with everything. But anyway, that's a whole nother podcast. But I think most people, they just love feeling included. So don't let your thoughts keep you from welcoming people into your home. And you know what? On the flip side, there's nothing like a dinner party to force you to get your house in tip-top shape. I mean, there's been so many times I've done a whirlwind cleanup or organization or finally getting the chairs cleaned or the rugs cleaned because I'm having guests over. It's actually a good way to get things done. So I'm on a mission with this episode to make dinner parties great again. That's my challenge to you this week. Have a dinner party. Accept an invitation for one, or at the very least, reach out to one person and make a date for lunch. Loneliness begets loneliness because we tend to pull away when we're lonely or when we're going through a rough time. One little step could break that cycle, but you're the only one that can do it. Share this with 3 friends that you would love to connect with. Maybe you'd like to have them for a dinner party. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.